of 60 plus years old. He asked her, "Are you mad?" She said, "No." He said, "Ma'am, you can't let your attitude show in public because a white person can detect that and might say something to jeopardize your job." She told my cousin, "Thank you for telling me." Wow. Yeah. Well, it worked. I mean, and sometimes we do need to stop being scared, just to say something to people, although sometimes you might get your ass kicked. Right. You don't be telling me what to do.
Yeah, right. My only question for Al is, was her fist bald when you rolled up?
She said, was her fist bald? That's so you're so stupid.
Because if her fist is bald, just keep on driving.
All right, and then Benny says, "Breaking buck." Thank you, John. Says, good message. So breaking the buck, yes. That is what they did in slavery, and that's what they're doing now. And maybe innately, that's what the guy was doing to Terry. I mean, dude, you just see this man's white, and this is a big black dude. This ain't Spike Lee he ran up on.
Well, you gotta remember, it's Hollywood too, so they have sex parties and things that are going on in Hollywood. So if you're not with it, you're not with it.
Right, and then maybe too, because this guy, he represents Eddie Murphy, Sylvester Stallone, so all these, Adam Sandler, he represents a lot of these big name people in the industry, and so maybe he felt like, well, shit, Terry gonna let me get them balls, and then this is what I know that's so gross. But what it made me think of too is, well, damn, how often do you just run up on people and grab them like that? That to me, that wasn't the first time he did that.
No, but you gotta remember, Hollywood, it's about circles.
Oh, yeah.
And the circles you travel in. So if you're not with it, you're not gonna get this role. You're not gonna get this.
Okay, but I mean, listen, I'm not saying that he should have grabbed his stuff, but if you're gonna do it, can you do it? Well, like, you doing it in front of my wife and the whole party.
It wouldn't matter because, like I said, I control your career. So if I've got the money, look, we have a president of the United States that said, grab him by the pussy. And he got elected anyway.
Right. Well, and that's a good point because a lot of people aren't even taking the president to task. They're like ignoring it. And then this fool got his orange nerve to get on the Twitter telling Roy Moore that he needs to resign. And
No, Al Franken.
Oh, yeah, Al Franken. Well, he just came out and said he's not going to campaign for Roy Moore. Right. But he told this orange idiot,
like that was gonna help Roy Moore by you campaigning.
Well, it might have, because there's a certain sector of people who love Trump. I mean, he can't do anything wrong. But he condemned Al Franken. Like, you got your orange hands, little nerves. And then Al says, maybe the guy who grabbed Terry's lower regions, is that what I should start saying? His lower regions thought he could get away with it since Cat Williams did it in that Friday movie. You know what? You might be on to something. I don't know.
Right. Cat Williams had pliers, though.
Yeah, Cat Williams had pliers and said, you are a boy. You're not supposed to be doing that. And then so Jonelle, he's free, you guys. He's out of Facebook jail.
Out of Facebook jail. Welcome back. Welcome back. Give me a hand out.
Yes. We need to throw you a welcome back party. That's how they do it when Ray and them get out. Throw them a welcome home party. So welcome home. So glad that you are back now. Let's see how long you stay out. Because we know there's a lot of haters out there just, I'm reporting them. Yeah. He said, he said the word white.
Yes. As a matter of fact, social media is now controlling your free speech.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to be aware of that.
Well, they've been doing that, especially if you're black. They always send me these little surveys. What can we do better? I said, you can stop, patrolling black people so tough, Stop shutting down black people who have some, good things to say.
Speaking of that, real quick, I'm going to cut you off. Jeff Sessions was asked by a member of the Congressional Black Caucus about the FBI memo that went out that's trolling black.
Black extremists.
The extremist thing, and they were asked, what are you doing about the KKK? What are you doing about the skinheads?
Somebody was asking me about that, and I just got it before I was doing the research. And so Tony, I told him that I would cover that next week because I didn't hear anything about it, but that makes sense.
And he stood there going,
why would he denounce something he's a part of? Jeff Sessions is not going to denounce the KKK.
Right. Why are they not investigating?
He's a part of it. Come on now. You're just not going to police your own, are you? And then Jonelle says, all praises is due to Allah. Thank y'all. Probably not long. Appreciate you, love. We got to make sure you stay free because we need your knowledge, brother. Al says that black lady's fists weren't bald, but her lips were poked out and eyes were rolled. To me, she had that my pussy don't stink look.
Yikes.
Well, I'm hoping it don't. I mean, What look is that?
What are you looking at me for? So.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that look is, but all right. So yeah, so what do you guys think of Terry? Do you think maybe he should have come out? Do you think to me it's just weird. It's weird. I saw him on Good Morning America, and he was talking about it, and he was like, I just want to empower people, and I don't know.
It's not just women.
I guess. To me, it's just weird. I don't know how I feel about it. And then Quentin, you say, so in Hollywood, you have to be down with the cost to make it big time. Let's see. It says Seymour.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, you have to. But honestly, we know. Well, I don't know. Donovan being a thespian, he is.
Yes, I am.
That's been going on for a long time. They have the illustrious or the notorious rather casting couch, to where it's like, you want this role, gal? Let's see how far you can drop it. You know. And a lot of them were like, well, gosh, okay. Yeah,
you'll be so surprised at how many women come out to Los Angeles to try to be famous, and they end up in porn.
Right.
Or
true.
Dancers.
It's true. And not everyone makes it in Hollywood. And so I think a lot of them know that. It's like, okay, so what are you willing to do to just even get this little role? This role of, pouring coffee in the scene,
or just walking in the scene, walking through the scene.
Don't look at the camera, just walk on by,
Yeah, look, Mom, that's me. That's the back of my head right there. Look, I'm going through. That's me.
I don't know. To me, it's always, what is your integrity worth? I don't know. It's sad. It's really sad for one thing, because but there are a lot of those abusers out there. But again, as we talked about Wednesday, that's nothing new. It's something that, not all, and I feel like I have to say not all white men, because, I do get in a little bit of trouble. Don't be looking at me like that. But that's nothing new. That's what they've been doing in slavery. They did it to us. We're not like shocked by these revelations of all these white men coming out, touching on women.
Roy Moore, 30-something-year-old man trolling the malls for 14, 13-year-old girls.
Getting kicked out the mall because he's doing it. And they say he was going to the high school. So that's nothing new to us. That's what they've been doing to us from slavery. So is everybody else shocked? The other jacked up part about all that is, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments, white women, especially back in slavery, they knew what was going on. Better him humping on Big Shirley than, humping on me. They knew what was going on. And so now it's going on with you guys. Oh, it's this uproar, So it's crazy, but it's not crazy. Hey, Sonia, you say, I understand what Terry's doing by speaking out. I think sometimes you sit on stuff, and when others speak out on it, it encourages you. Yeah, I think so too. And to his point, he said it wasn't like he just was like, okay, let me come out and say something. He said he's been, telling the Hollywood or his agency. And he said even Adam Sandler called him that night and said, hey, I understand something weird was going on. And he told him about it. He was like, yo, that's crazy. So people knew about it. His wife, who also from the interview, she was saying, I'm proud of you for not doing anything, because you could have gotten in a lot of trouble. You as a black man can't do what everybody else can do and get away with it. So,
especially a big black man.
A big black dude, And then Jonelle says, this is clearly a nation of white hypocrisy and power, who desire to continue to speak success in the same ill ways of their evil ancestors, giving themselves truly no future but pure divine destruction. So they will reap, because their harvest is due. And see, that's why my brother be getting put off of Facebook, because he be keeping it real.
Right.
And
you got to disguise it, brother. Just do a little buffoonery in there.
Don't disguise it. Keep it, keep it real. But that's what people don't want to hear. You know what, Jonelle? I wouldn't even be surprised if it's some black people reporting you. I wouldn't even doubt it. It's somebody black who's...
I'd bet on that.
Yeah, who's cooning out, well, he's just so hateful. We need to, especially since, you talk about Islam and stuff, it's probably those people, Christians, probably reporting you and all that other stuff. But you know what? You are so right. And we know that the sleeping giant, which is black people, is starting to wake up. And they know that.
I have a question in regards to, you say Christians. I mean, if these people who profess to be Christians in this country, how can you say we live in a Christian country and yet you are taking away people's holidays and spending time with their families. You're making them work on Sundays and all this stuff that's going on. But yet, you're trolling malls and these people that profess to be
trolling
Christian.
malls for little girls.
Yeah, for little boys and whatever you're doing. How could you even be, even say that? And then it's just crazy to me.
Just like some of the laws, or not some, but mostly all of the laws, Christianity was written for the benefit of white people.
Right.
And so anytime you use Christianity on a plantation of black people, slaves, and say, listen, I just whooped your mama's ass for stealing a biscuit because I ain't fed her since yesterday. But the Lord says to just take it now.
Right. And your heaven is when you're dead and gone.
Yes. Your heaven is going to wait for you. You're going to be washed as white as snow. Your jewels and everything is going to be there for you. Just take it now. And so they've used Christianity on everybody else to subjugate it to fit their narrative. And so how can they write all these laws and take all these things away? It's because that's what they're used to doing. It doesn't benefit us anymore.
Right.
So we're going to, write these laws and use Christianity. Most of us know that the KKK, their religion is Christianity.
Well, yeah, and that's true too. But then look at some of our prosperity preachers. They're using Christianity to do a come up.
They're pimps.
Yeah.
And there's this one pastor, I can't remember his name. He's supporting Roy Moore, the embattled.
Oh, that one guy that lied about his qualifications.
Oh, man. No, not him.
Okay.
This is a different guy.
Okay.
It's a different coon. But he's supporting this Roy Moore who's in battle, who got 9 women come out against him saying that 9 women who most of them were girls, like 14 years old, saying that he molested them, raped them, and all this stuff. But you got this black pastor saying, where are they, in Alabama?
Yeah, they're in Alabama.
Alabama. Him and a bunch of other pastors support him, and they stand behind him because when will this stop? And we can't let these things go on. He's done all these great things. And I say,
no, that's the pastor that
that's falsified.
Yeah, that's when that falsified all his stuff.
So he's probably got a congregation full of black people who are supporting this nonsense. This is a black pastor who is telling us that we should support this child molesting rapist. Ain't that something?
Well, what's the difference between Donald Trump and Al Franken?
Well,
according to Sarah Huckabee, Franken admitted to it and the president didn't.
I don't like her. Okay.
And she's the daughter of a preacher.
Right. Yeah. What's her name? Michael Huckabee. Uncle Sugar.
Uncle Sugar.
Yeah. Okay, so I get to your comments. And so Alan says, maybe Terry needed that wake-up call because all of this, his roles in commercials are silly. Shaking my damn head, black man. Yeah, that's what I got from it too when I was doing a little bit of research on him. All of his roles are kind of coolish if you think about it. I mean, they are. So maybe, not that it's ever right to grab somebody by the balls, but it's like, dude, maybe that should be, you should reevaluate your role in Hollywood. Stop all that shucking and jiving, I mean, I'm just saying. And then Billy says, that's damn real. I think he was talking about, what you were saying about Christianity and stuff. And then Sonia says, I don't necessarily think it's a white male thing. I think it's a male thing. When I was a young woman, older men always trolled around the neighborhoods, look at R. Kelly. And you know what? That's what Diamond always makes that point in saying, and Al too, that, girls, especially since we were little and maybe started to develop, have always had men, whether they're looking at us and we don't know it. Some of them, all right, oh shit, she gonna be fine when she grow up. Look at her and all that. So yeah, I think it's a male thing, but I'm speaking predominantly because we see more white men, and somebody did accuse Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Tyson deGrasse rather, when he was in college, he raped her or something. Now this was 30, 40 damn years ago. So allegedly this happened. So that's the only black man that I can think of. But you're right. Girls in general, it's just like, damn, the minute you get a little boob, somebody got to say something to you. So no, you're absolutely right, Sonia. And Billy says, ain't no such thing as a goddamn Christian. Black people wake up. Yeah. How is it that you can, and listen, I'd be lying to tell you that I wasn't once deemed a Christian. When my parents divorced, my mom went off and she joined Christianity. So, I did Christianity for a good amount of my life. But once you become aware, you wake up and you say, all right, white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazis, and all these other people, they're Christians. And I'm a Christian too. So either I agree with what they're teaching and what they're doing, or I don't, or I'm just a damn fool to even go along with that, you know?
Amen.
And then so, Jonelle, you say, white males have been just giving the image of manhood and like the false image of Superman. Their manhood is a lie. White males are ill-minded gay perverts. See? History is proven strong men are, let's see, are men of principle and divinity. And I wouldn't be surprised the majority of us suffer from a white mind in a black body. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, not us, but them, they do. We think, there's this guy that's going around the internet, calls himself the Black Hannity. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's the Black Hannity, Sean Hannity on Fox News. He calls himself the Black Hannity. And that there's no white supremacy. Oh, we need to get over all of that. And white people, you know, they didn't have us as slaves. The white people of today, he's just the biggest. And so he comes to mind when I hear that black body with a white mind. Like, what does that even mean? White people don't want us trying to be them. Why are we always trying to be like white people? They ain't trying to be us. Well, yeah, kind of cosmetically they are, but they're not trying to take on the things that we take on. Like some of us even, I hate to say this, sound white in how we deliver our content.
Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting talking like
well, that. But that don't even mean that you black when you say, you know what I'm saying? That just means that you need to read more. Get a little bit more vocabulary going on.
Gotcha.
Hey, Ben, you said white men have been perverted since the beginning of time. So these sexual allegations don't surprise me at all. But notice there are no black people being accused of this. Yes, except for the one, like I said, Neil Tyson Degrassi. Mm-hmm. And they said but I haven't heard anything else about it, but it's like every day somebody is getting accused of sexual assault or something.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. He was the OG of getting accused of that, you know. But hey, how about Roman Polanski? He's, you know, the creator of Rosemary's Baby, even raped the 13-year-old that he was working with.
It was his ex-wife's Sharon Tate. Remember, he was married to Sharon Tate.
Yeah, he was married to Sharon Tate.
His sister.
Yeah. He fled to wherever he's from, Romania, wherever he's from, and produced an Oscar award-winning movie while on the lam from raping a 13-year-old. The pianist.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So yeah, he produced all these, you know, well-known movies as he was accused. In fact, he was not even accused. He was found guilty. He was found guilty of raping this 13-year-old. And the reason he fled is because his lawyer was in the bathroom with the judge, and the lawyer overheard the judge saying, "I'm going to throw the book at him." And so the lawyer ran and told him, and then Roman Polanski ran away, but he was still producing all these movies.
And a lot of the Hollywood stars went overseas to do movies with him.
They loved him. So he was like an OG rapist that, you know, got away with it. And so Benny says we have to be careful about lumping ourselves in with this because it's really a white feminist ploy to gain traction. And we all know how they will use any group to advance their agenda.
Amen.
We're going to get to that in just a second. But once they're done with you, they toss to the side. Once you, again, like they did with our own women years ago, it's happening all over again. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think the same thing. Now, are we excusing what happened to these women? Absolutely not. But we know that there's a lot of feminist agenda behind that, you know. And somebody else made a good point. Like, just because you accuse somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean they're guilty. What if a lot of these men are innocent, but because they're lumped into, you know, with all this, you know, sexual assault, they must be guilty.
Right.
So no, absolutely. And then Al says, say sweet love. He's talking to me. Let your audience know about the disturbing part of the Call of Duty 2 video game. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but I guess at some point in the game, there's images of, some people are saying it's black men being lynched, but some people are saying they're not black. It's Jews or somewhere in Germany. I don't know.
Yeah, regardless of what
it's wrong. Yeah. I tried to research and find some things about it, but I couldn't find anything. So I was like, I'm not saying it's not legitimate. I just didn't find any content on it. But yeah, that's very disturbing. Stop letting your children play those things. And you say Mel Tillis passed this morning. Who's Mel Tillis?
Mel Tillis, yes. I forgot what he actually does. I think he's a singer-actor.
Oh, okay. I probably have to see his face.
Real quick in the news for those people who haven't been keeping up, and obviously Hollywood and the people involved want to keep this as low key as possible. Steve Harvey's wife this week, last Monday, had her day in court.
Really?
And you don't hear nothing about it in the news
What
or in the black news, but remember she's suing for $60 million.
Yeah.
So the court case is going on. I just want to make people be aware of that. So a lot of stuff that Steve Harvey has done, and him and his gangster wife is going to be put out in the public record. So you guys be aware of that.
All right,
that's
now.
To be aware of.
Donovan with the dirt.
So
I'm just playing. That sounds like a good segment.
News.
Donovan with the dirt.
Exactly. Breaking
Hey,
news.
Samuel, he says, it hurt my feelings as a child to see men I respect to talk about young teenagers in a disrespectful way. I'll give her couple more years. Yeah, absolutely. So that's not nothing new. I mean, I'd be lying to say I've never been approached or had anybody say anything, rude or crude to me. I hate to say that it's par for the course because it should never be, but I just think most girls,
you have to go through that.
Yeah, that's happened to them.
Yeah, well, it's speaking from a guy's perspective, it's like we grew up with you guys, and then one summer you guys come to school and you look totally different. There's something totally different.
Yeah, it's called puberty, but you ain't got to be, damn, girl, you got a fat ass,
Well, like I said, I didn't do that to your sister until she was grown. Okay, and then it was in her 30s.
Oh, you didn't abuse her until she was grown?
Yeah, until she was grown. So that's a monster.
And Billy says, strong shit up here tonight. Love it. We love it too. And Al says, why are Black Christians the first ones to say you're going to hell? I think it's when you tell somebody they're going to hell, it's a form of manipulation.
Well, aren't we in hell already?
Yeah, the Farrakhan had a song out called "A Black Man's Heaven is White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell." Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, some will argue we're already in hell, but I think it's a form of manipulation. If you don't sow a seed of faith, you're going to hell. Would a man rob God? Yes, he would, through his tithes and offerings. So you need to give up that light bill money, sister so-and-so. Mm-hmm. Jonelle says, type in $16,000 dog on YouTube. Majority has profit off of Jesus' name. It's a big industry, just as some African pastors are get women pregnant and teaching their congregations to eat grass.
Wow.
Most will not show the masses how scriptures relate to what's happening now. And these false prophets don't know. In fact, they are written in the scriptures, false prophets. Yeah, but again, people don't even read the word themselves. I hate when these big time, highfalutin Christians want to tell you the word. But then, well, really, they're just quoting the scriptures. And so then you say, you ask them more about it. Well, I don't know. That's just what the pastor be saying. You don't know. But you're getting on here telling me most of the time they misquoting the scriptures and applying them to the wrong. It's just like, come on.
Shouldn't you be constantly reading and referencing the Bible or whatever you believe in to make sure that what it says?
No, you should just do what Pastor Rufus tell you to do, okay? Don't question it. That's a lie. Black people won't question the pastor for nothing. They scared the ground is going to open up and swallow them up from asking them, hey, I see you got a new Bentley. Did you pay the mortgage on the church? Nah, we working on it, sister. Matter of fact, mind your business. Billy says, glad I hear these people. And then Jonelle says, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, just accept your own and be righteous of self. Yes, I am in the process of finishing Message to the Black Man in America, which is an awesome book. And Minister Elijah Muhammad does talk about in detail acquiring knowledge of self. How can you do anything and not know who you are
and doing it?
Yeah, because we're going to always be assimilating and doing what we think other people say we should do because we don't know who we are. And Sonia says, I also think that the white guy who did this to Terry was basically showing him that I don't care how big of a Negro you are. I'm going to wield my power over you and emasculate you. This should show black men that they should aspire for power instead of brawn. Yes. And that's what he said too. He emasculated me by doing that to me. But yes, absolutely. I think that's exactly what it was. You ain't nobody. Yeah, you's big Negro, and I'm going to have my way with you in front of your wife.
The white guy's probably 5'4". It's like that.
Yeah, little dude.
Yeah, it was like that Eddie Murphy in Raw. You
Yeah.
know, the Italian guy. This is that big black guy. He's 6'2". Me, I'm 5 feet.
Right.
Pay for my candy.
But that's what they did in slavery, you know, in front of the wife. Or, you know, they weren't married, but in front of his woman. I'm going to emasculate you, break the buck, rape you in front of the whole plantation.
Yeah, the whole plantation.
Right. And so it's just nothing's changed, and it's sad. In fact, I was reading an article this morning that there's slavery in Liberia and some other countries that they found that black people were being used as slaves. They were being sold, and then they couldn't buy the way out, and so they were made indentured servants. It's just like slave. We're gonna end up on the plantation if we don't get our stuff together.
But isn't this also another way to weed out those who are willing to coon and take the money and serve the establishment versus those that aren't?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Because I bet you if Ray Lewis got his thing roped, which he probably did, that's why he's doing what he's doing.
Ray Lewis would be like, listen, it was on two knees.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when it was,
and Steve Harvey too, same thing.
You're right. How many of these, to Donovan's point, how many other black men was like, well, you're going to grope it for longer than 5 seconds?
Right, exactly.
You know, how long is this going to take?
Right. You know, show me the check first and then we could work something out.
Right. And then so let me see, make sure I didn't miss no comments. And so Billy says, wow, stuttering country singer played in Smokey and the Bandit. Oh,
that's who it is, right.
Okay.
Right. Mel Tillis, yeah.
Well, R.I.P. Mel. And, okay, so Al says the same thing. He's a country and western singer. Yeah. And Billy says, yes, it is. Al says, set your DVD and VCR because tomorrow on CBS is our TV taping from The Price is Right. Come on down my ass.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. We went to The Price is Right.
Tell us about that, yeah.
Yeah, he was went to The Price is Right, and I guess allegedly they already had the people pre-selected, and it was not fun. The whole process just took forever, and so Al has been saying, "Come on down my ass." We didn't get to come on down.
You didn't get no prizes.
We were duped. Okay. Jonelle says, one thing whites are great at is being the example of evil, ill-minded doers, and we must be the one of right mind of doing for self and building, investing in Bitcoins. I need the research. I've been seeing that a lot. Bitcoins. This world currency is done. Hold on.
Yeah, the world currency is done. That's what they want, one world nation, right?
Mm-hmm. It says, we have Allah, God, on our side with us to be successful and independent. Minister Farrakhan got new music coming, and it's tight. Yeah, he's got some, I guess, duets with a couple of people in the industry. And stuff.
I heard him and Kanye got together. And no,
I don't know about Kanye.
Yeah, but speaking of what we're talking about in regards, recently in the news, Zimbabwe had a coup.
A military coup.
A military coup. They're not calling it a coup.
Yeah.
But once again, here's an example of unsuccessful black leadership. Now, you have this guy who was a freedom fighter. He's been controlling the country for almost 40 years or whatever they say he is. The guy's 93 years old. He tried to give the country to his 51-year-old wife. Now, what people don't understand in these African countries is, and like I said, I'm not downing Nelson Mandela or anything like that, but he didn't do a damn thing for black people. Okay, other than they put him up there to do that because all the wealth is still being controlled by the white people who live in these countries. And in the Zimbabwe's case, the country has been, that was a very rich mineralized country. And other than Mugabe enriching himself and his cronies, that country has been basically decimated by its own.
Yeah, that's what I heard about economically it's going into ruins. But
he ruined it. Right?
He, kept fought the white folks off.
Yeah, but that was in the 1980. Now, fast forward, you can't blame Whitey. What happened 40 years ago. What successful thing has he done 40 years?
But I think in regards to that, I think we know that white people want control of that land. And so the people are questioning the people with the military and the people that they have in charge now. Are they just now cronies?
It's the corporations. Like I said, even though you have a black person in charge being a strongman, they end up being coons because just like John Tell and the people have been saying that if you've been doing your studying.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the land is. If you don't control the resources of that land,
right, absolutely,
it doesn't mean a damn thing. And the resources never changed hands. That's why white people are still in control in these.
We need to do our research on that. And then Billy says, "I really hate organized religion that white people did have control over what was put in our mind. Yeah, and they still do." They still do. I was reading the slave narratives, and even the slaves back then were like, we know this is some bullshit, but what can we do?
Right, I gotta live.
Well, yeah, I gotta live. Let me just get on this plantation Sunday church and just,
I'll find a way.
But they even knew that it was bull caca. They knew that. And then so Benny says, that's why you never forget the past or be doomed to repeat it.
Amen.
Yes. A lot of us want to forget and don't even know the past. We don't know it at all. We just think, it's what we read in our textbooks.
These kids nowadays don't even know the aspects of the 60s, much
At
less
all.
the struggles.
But, that's our fault because we send our kids to school, not us, but some of us send our kids to school and say, well, I'm going to leave it to the school system to teach them who they are. The school system never taught me who I was.
Right.
That came from home.
Right.
And then Al says, what is the percentage that is race when things go wrong with black people? Oh, so you're saying what percentage of it? Well, we know that systemic and institutional racism is real and has always been there, especially after slavery. That's when it was created and it bloomed and it blossomed. KKK, the police, all of that came into fruition because of the end of slavery. Let's keep these slaves docile and dependent upon us while we do the most horrible things to them. So there's a large percent of it has to do with race and institutional, but we can't always blame that for everything. Like, we are now cognizant enough to know that we are making all this money in our community, but we're giving 97% of that away. I don't know how much of that is somebody making us do that.
Right, you're a voluntary slave because I call it the Matrix. Why is everybody so dependent to go work for minimum wage when we should be thinking about making our own businesses and opening our own communities? So. If I don't go punch a clock, and listen, I'm not ever saying punching the clock is wrong, but at some point in time, we need to be working toward being independent and having our own businesses. But a lot of us think, oh my gosh, if I don't have a job, I'm nobody. How will I survive? You just will. The Lord will make a way.
The Lord will make a way. The Lord's like, now you better make your own way.
Yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
And then let's see. Jonelle says, if scriptures are not relevant to today's time, why read it unless we enjoy a good read? No, we are in the full fulfillment. We are in the fulfillment of scriptures and must be of right-minded action. As scripture teaches, God has come. God has come to make gods, not niggas. God has chosen a people, and clearly we tender the heart, rejected and despised, 400 years old. Black strangers in a strange land. We are the people of God, the last becoming first. Yes, absolutely. I mean,
he's going back to jail.
He said you're going back to Facebook jail.
He's going back to jail. I have no doubt.
But yes, we have been taught and conditioned that we are niggas. Nigga this, nigga that. You behaving, as our, Nuri Muhammad. He's a minister of one of the temples in Nation of Islam. He calls it negativity. We engage in negativity, niggadom, and we got to remember that was taught to us. That's not who we are, but we still believe the hype. We are not niggas. We are gods. Absolutely. And Billy says, always know real history, not when they tell you. Even when someone tells you anything, reaffirm it, please. No, absolutely. That's what I say. Well, that sounds like it could be legit. Let me go look. Let me go see and, make, because I see stuff on the internet all the